Yo, guys, what is going on? So the NBA East this year, well, NBA, just NBA in general. This is made by Bleacher Reports, their predictions, and I want to dive right into this. The East is probably going to be more competitive than the West this year, but it honestly could go both ways. I mean, the Bucks and the Sixers are pretty competitive, and so are the Clippers and the Lakers. But I do think the Lakers are going to be better than the Clippers this year. But that's my opinion. Here's what I'm going to do. Cavaliers. You guys made a mistake there. Saying they will go 1963, you're not accounting to how good the rookies have seemed to be in the preseason so far. And I know we could say, oh, it's just preseason, but they've looked really good, and so has Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton has took his game to a whole new level. I'm telling you, his game is going to be fully improved this year. And I think the Cleveland Cavaliers could go win 21, 22 games. I don't think it will be 1963. I honestly think the Knicks will be 30th. And then we see the Knicks, obviously 30th. But don't discount. They do have good players. They do have Julius Randle, who's really good. Bobby Portis can shoot. He's a good player. Marcus Morris, obviously, is a good player. And obviously they have R.J. Barrett and Mitchell Robinson, who I think will have a good year. So don't discount the Knicks from being from being like a 20-win team, but they might get 25 wins maybe, to be honest. And here we go with the Charlotte Hornets, who I think are just a mess. They honestly are just a mess. Michael Jordan, I don't know what you're doing with that team right now. But honestly, I think Terry Rozier will have a good year. I think Terry Rozier will have a really good year, and I think Terry Rozier will step up his game. He was playing second fiddle to obviously Kyrie on the Celtics, and you telling me that he won't have a good game and improve and be maybe a 15 plus points per game scorer with about like 5 or 6 assists a game, I think you're crazy. I think Terry Rozier will have a good game. He's getting paired up with Nicholas Batum, obviously, too, who ain't no scrub. I think the Charlotte Hornets are maybe a 25-win team this year. Now, the Grizzlies. Grizzlies have... I honestly don't know what direction the Grizzlies are going in. I think the Grizzlies are just... they're declined. You know, trading away Mike Conley for the second round pick. I mean, you know, it's what it is. I mean, I personally think that Justin Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a good player. Kyle Anderson, I don't really think. I don't think they're gonna turn into that much. But you never know. Jonathan Wazer wrote a mix of nifty ball handling, blow by speed, and I don't think about that. I don't think about that when I think about the Grizzlies too much. I think Jaren Jackson could be a future star, I guess, but time will only tell there. But I don't see the Grizzlies doing too much this year. Maybe get 20 wins. The Suns. Now the Suns, I honestly could see them doing pretty good. Dragan Bender. Now I want to talk about Dragan Bender for a second because he ain't bad. He's a good player. I'm not too big on Dragan Bender, but I don't think he's bad. I still think he shouldn't have been drafted where he was drafted. Obviously, I think he should have went a little bit. Maybe in the 15th round, but still, he ain't a bad player. Not 15th round, 15th pick in the draft probably. But still, aren't bad players. Ricky Rubio's still there. You have Jamal Crawford, Josh Jackson, obviously, and Devin Booker. Devin Booker will not be a bad player. Trust me on that. Devin Booker is a really good player. I'm telling you, I think the Suns could do pretty good. And I think they're saying here Carmelo might come to the system. I don't see Carmelo returning to the NBA probably until maybe later. And I think he'll go probably to the Lakers if he ever does, because He might want to join LeBron. And if you see the Lakers struggling midway through the season, not being where they were projected like last year, which I don't think might happen because, Anthony Davis and LeBron James are amazing. Plus, you have Kyle Kuzma and Avery Bradley, who's a good defender. But if that happens, I could see Carmelo maybe signing to add more shooting to that team. Now the Wizards, obviously, John Wall, Bradley Beal, Otto Porter. I agree with this here. Otto Porter and Bradley Beal will be putting up some good numbers this year. I just think that way because, John Wall is not the same player that he once was. I don't think he's the same player that will lead this team directly just by him on his shoulders. Like he needs pieces around him. And I think Bradley Beal is great, and Otto Porter Jr. are great players. So I think they could win some games this year. Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young's about to have a huge season. All right, Trae Young is about to go off. He will have a huge season. He will be an all-star for sure. He'll put up all-star numbers. He will be a good player. John Collins too ain't a bad rookie. Don't hate on the Hawks. The Hawks are a pretty good team. Now the Bulls. I'm telling you one thing. I saw Zach LaVine this preseason. He's looking amazing. Zach LaVine is looking like an all-star this year. He has took his game to a new level. I tried to trade for him in fantasy, no word yet, so I wish I could have him. My team is pretty stacked in fantasy, but if I could get him, I would want him because he looks like he's going to take his game to a new level. Obviously, the Lakers still have Markkanen. Markkanen's going to be a future star if he's not already. Markkanen is a really good player. I think if he played for another team, he would be known more. But since he plays for the Bulls, he doesn't get a lot of attention right now because the Bulls are just not a good team. But they still have good players. I think LaVine will help this team. I think the Bulls could get maybe to 40 wins this year. And I don't think that's a stretch to say. Now the Pistons, Derrick Rose looks really good. Derrick Rose, I saw in the preseason, he looks like a whole different person than he was last year. And Derrick Rose last year, he wasn't a bad player. He was a decent player. He can get you 15 points a night if he wanted to. He can get you 20 points a night if he wanted to. But he ain't the same player as he once was with his MVP. But I saw him play in the preseason. He was good. He was really good. And I think the Pistons could get maybe the 45 wins this year. They still have Reggie Jackson. They have Drummond. They have Blake Griffin. They got a good team. I don't see them just winning 38 games. I think that was a stupid projection. Now, the New Orleans Pelicans, don't doubt the Pelicans. Don't doubt the Pelicans either. Because the Pelicans are a good team. I don't want to hear that they're not a good team. They have Zion. They don't have Kyle Kuzma, obviously. But they have Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram. They have these rookies that, I don't understand why they're not getting enough attention. Of course, Zion is the big rookie in the draft. But they've had great rookies too, other than Zion. I'm predicting Brandon Ingram to have a huge year this year. I think Drew Holiday is still a good player, even though you lost AD. I still think this is. I still think this team could get to 45 wins this year. Lonzo Ball, I think, is a better player than he once was. Derek Favors, obviously, is a good player. I think this team can get 45 wins. Now, the Timberwolves. Now Karl Anthony Towns, obviously. Andrew Wiggins. I don't want to hear that he's a bad player. Because he can average 20 points a game. And that's not a bad player, if you ask me. Is he as good as we thought he was going to be? No. But he's still a great player. And you cannot tell me that he's not a good player. And obviously, Karl Anthony Towns is there. Robert Covington. Robert Covington is a good player. I don't want to hear that he's not a good player. He played with the Sixers last year. It was really good. I think this team could get to 45 wins as well. Now, the Thunder, I don't see the Thunder doing anything really this year. Chris Paul was always great. And Chris Paul was always good, but he always had pieces around him. He always had players that could be around him. When it was with the Clippers, when he had Blake Griffin around him, and he had DeAndre Jordan around him. And when it was with the Rockets, obviously, last year, with obviously James Harden and Clint Capella, and they had guys who can get open and shoot, and he could and would drive to the hoop and give him free lanes, and so he could score off the dribble. That's not going to happen this year. So I don't see the Thunder doing anything really. I see the Thunder getting 30 wins. Now Gallinari is a good player, and so are Adams, but they ain't Harden, and they ain't Blake Griffin. So I would honestly take the Thunder to win 30 games this year. Now the Kings, I don't understand why they are this. They are projected to win 40 wins. If 40 wins, really? No. I'm thinking the Kings are going to stay right around 37 wins. 37 wins, I think. I think that's fair. De'Aaron Fox is a good player still. I mean, not a bad team, but they're going to win about 37 games probably. Now the Magic are still a good team. I don't think they're going to win 42 games. Vucevic, DJ Augustine, they're good players. I'm not saying they aren't. Markelle Fultz looks like he's fixed his shot. I think that's good. And also, it's not a bad team. It's just they aren't showing me anything that could tell me that they're going to win 40-plus games. So I'm going to put them 35 wins. I think that's fair. Now, the Raptors, you obviously lost Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green. I honestly don't see the Raptors doing too much this year. Obviously, Siakam's a great player. Kyle Lowry is good. Paul Gasol, he's still good. Marc Gasol's still good. Paul Gasol's still good. But they're aging. Gasol's aging. He's 39. I don't see Gasol putting up the same amount of points as he did last year. He obviously can get rebounds, no doubt. Any center can get you rebounds. But they have a decent team. I don't see them doing too much. I think the Raptors would probably win 42. I think 42 is actually the right prediction. Now the Nets, they're without KD. Yeah, I don't see the Nets really doing too much this year without KD. And, Kyrie obviously led the Celtics to the playoffs last year. He got them the Celtics playoffs, but the Nets definitely don't have a Jason Tatum, and they don't have a Jaylen Brown, and they don't have a Terry Rozier, and they don't have a Marcus Smart, and they don't have a great coach like Brad Stevens. I don't see Kyrie Irving doing too much, so I think it's a fair projection to say maybe 45 wins for this team. But I don't think 43 wins. I think 45 wins. Now the Heat, Miami Heat are, Jimmy Butler, I agree, is great. But will he fit in with this team? I'm not too sure. Jimmy Butler obviously is a cancer to a team, and I don't see him doing too well fitting in with this Heat team. Now the Spurs, DeRozan, I heard they're offering him a contract extension, and I think he should get a contract extension, but dang, San Antonio Spurs, you've completely changed ever since Kawhi left. Mavericks, obviously, Luka Doncic's there. Kristaps Porzingis is there. That's a huge. That's crazy to even think about that. Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic are together now, but it's happening, and that's crazy. That's just crazy. I think they win maybe 45, 46 games, and I think that's generous. The Pacers. I don't see the Pacers doing too much this year. Oladipo's still good. So is Thaddeus Young, but will they really do too much? I don't know. Maybe 40, 42 wins, 41 or 42 wins. The Trailblazers. Now, obviously, Damian Lillard is always good. C.J. McCollum's always good. Nurkic is pretty good too. But I don't know. I don't really know about the Blazers this year. Maybe. I'll give them 45 and 37 wins. I'll take the safe bet and agree with the Bleacher Report right now. Boston Celtics. Now, why are the Boston Celtics at 9? I mean, that's generous. That's honestly generous. And 50 and 32. That's a good record. That's a good record. They obviously Kemba's a little bit of a downgrade than Kyrie, obviously. But I think Kemba's a better leader than Kyrie. And I think this team could be really good this year. Romeo Langford is a rookie, and I think he'll have a good year. The Warriors, 51 and 37. They're tied for the 7th place right now for projections. Now, Klay Thompson will be out, so it'll be up to D'Angelo Russell, and Draymond Green, and Steph Curry to definitely win the games. But, Curry was able to win before without Durant. Now, obviously, the league is much different now. The league's much more harder because now there's a bunch of super teams. But I still think the Warriors are a good team. And I think that's a fair projection, 51 and 31. Utah Jazz. I'm going to leave that too here because Michael Conley is pretty good. Donovan Mitchell is obviously good. I don't think they're going to win 51 games. I think 48 games is fair, but not 51. I don't think they're going to get over 50 wins. But still, that's a good team. Now the Houston Rockets tied for 5th. I honestly see the Rockets doing pretty good this year. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, but Westbrook is a ball hog. Westbrook is always looking to get a triple-double. Westbrook always looks for stats. That might be true, but keep in mind, Harden now has Westbrook driving into the paint constantly, which will get double-teamed, which will leave Harden open a lot, which will make Harden take a shot from the three-point line, who usually makes it if he's wide open like that. I think the Rockets could be a scary team this year. They really could, and I think it's a really good improvement for the Rockets to get Westbrook and rejoin him with Harden. Now the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, yes, that's a nice team. But will Kawhi lead this team to a championship? It's debatable because Paul George is a great player, and I'm not debating that he's not a great player. But I need to see how Kawhi and Paul George fit together in the system first. But I agree. Maybe 52 and 30. Maybe 54 and 28. I think that's a good possibility too. Now, obviously, the Lakers. Oh, I think LeBron and AD together are really good. I think the Lakers should be number 1, obviously. But what are you going to do? I think, that's a fair projection, 53 and 29. I won't debate that. Now, the Bucks, and I believe the Sixers will probably, Nuggets, and then the Sixers. Sixers at first? Nah, I don't. I still think the Bucks are going to do better than the Sixers this year. And I just feel like they're going to do better than the Sixers this year. I think it's better that the Sixers are without Jimmy Butler. I think Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are going to have great years. But I still think the Bucks are a good team. The Bucks are still a good team. Now, the Nuggets. Now, I'll go with the Nuggets now, because I'm not going to ignore you Nuggets fans. Obviously, Jokic. Nikola Jokic is such a good player, and I didn't really think he was that good of a player coming out of college. I thought he might be. I didn't think he was going to be a bust or a scrub or anything, but I didn't think he was going to be the player he is today, and he is obviously a great player now. And I'm telling you, the Nuggets are a scary team. The Nuggets are definitely a scary team. You know, I, I honestly think the Nuggets are fair. It's fair to say the Nuggets should be tied for second in projections and go 53-29. So, yeah, I have the Bucks in first, and the Sixers in second, and then the Nuggets at third. Well, Nuggets in fourth, and then the Lakers in third, and then it could be a tie for the Nuggets and the Clippers. But anyway, that's my predictions for now. Obviously, it's going to depend how these players play in the season. Obviously there's going to be some breakout stars that nobody even thinks are going to do good. But that's my predictions. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Remember to subscribe and like. Tell me what you guys think, obviously, because I want to know what you guys are thinking about it. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.